Well, symbol means that you burn up because of the Christians, and they resurrect you using the night and the women who are feminists, which represent the Muslim. Okay, anyway, in this video I'm going to talk about Egyptian wrestling. You see, cute, nice, who gives a shit? Next. And we're going to talk about, the tomb of Ramses, the tomb of Seti, the book of the life, book of life, book of the dead. And, well, basically, look, in the book of the dead, you have certain depiction of Osiris, Ra, Horketi, Hoyaru, and as well as other deities. And if you look at the race, the different races, right? I've went over this a couple times in some other videos, but it's important to notice the distinctions and the different hair types. If you look at the hair types, none of them have the same kind of hair. That's the first thing you note off top. The person who made this description was trying to portray his servants. First of all, that's another thing to notice. This is somebody who sees himself as having a better bloodline than his servants, and this is his subjugated peoples. He's divided them, he's subjugated them, he's conquered them. Now, so you see, the Nubian is considered one of those people. Now, there's a reason why you'll never see a picture of Menzies with scorn in his heart for the Nubians. He united the two lands, he brought them together. But you'll see the later dynasties after about the 15th, when you have the Libyan, some of the earlier Libyan dynasties and the Hyksos dynasties, you see a lot of scorn, especially in the Greco-Roman dynasties. You see a lot of scorn for the Egyptians, the native people. Now, starting on the left, you have the Libyan, you have the Nubian, and then you have the Semite. Okay, also this has been compared to an Assyrian as well. And then you have the Egyptian. Now, what this is actually portraying is the three types of people that you find in Saharan Africa, Northern Africa, specifically Northeastern Africa. For example, the one on the far left, pretty much to this day, you can find them in Libya. And some of them are in other countries as well. In Morocco, you'll have Berbers in all of those northern African countries, like Tunisia. So these people were definitely made, in Algeria, and they're definitely people that got around. Their bloodline even goes into Spain. Because remember, I talked about in the last video the Crusades, how part of the goal with the Crusades was to get the Moors out of Spain. And I talked about a lot of okay. Let me go to the next race. I'm already 40 minutes into this. So then the Nubians, right? It says in any textbook, any historical, anybody who knows anything about the Nubians, who knows anything about anything at all, knows they started in Sudan, and it is the black Christians who are closely related to them, because the Arab Sudanese are mixed with Arab, and so they are not the ancient Nubians. Let me give you an example. If you would mix the far right with the one from second to the left, the Nubian mixed with the Egyptian, right, you would get a different looking person. And once you add the Arab into the picture, then also, it's important to note that you can tell by the way they're dressed. A lot of people are going to try to argue and be like, okay, why doesn't this represent the race? No. This represents this kind of person from this kind of country. For example, the Nubian represents the black man from the Nubian country. The Indo-European Libyan Berber, he represents the white man in Libya. Okay? And the Semitic Assyrian Notice the way his dress implies that he doesn't have a lot of jewelry. He doesn't have a lot of these idols. He doesn't have a lot of things that he carried with him. So he represents a more of like a Hyksos or an Assyrian person that migrated to and from Egypt. Okay? He represents the group that's closely related to them. And then, but it's also important to note that when the Jews were in captivity, after Joseph had his family there, etc., that they mixed with the blacks. Okay, for example, when the high priestess of On in the Hyksos dynasty, she mixed with Joseph, what happened? Excuse me, her daughter mixed with Joseph, what happened? The two bloodlines mixed. Okay, when he took her as a wife, was she a Jew? No. So Joseph took somebody who was in a secret society as a wife in Egypt. Moses was the servant of the high priest and close friend of Pharaoh, God incarnate, when he was in Egypt. And Jesus hid from King Herod in Egypt. And he's talking about, I am the truth, I am the way, I'm the light. What Jesus was talking about is that every generation, every story in the Bible, there was always the traitors. You understand me? The bootlickers, the traitors. It's important to notice that remember Shechem, when Simeon and Levi lead the charge because their sister is raped. And remember when Reuben wants to take Bilhah from his father early and wants to take her to bed. Okay? So what was the point of this? Why did the Ishmaelites come for Joseph when he was in a well during a period of darkness, where the well was dry, without water? Think about the symbolism. And also think about the way the mafia or the bad guys would take it. Remember, during the story, there was people that were watching it unfold, and they got different meanings from it. For example, Simeon, what he got from it is that he's getting cheated by a bunch of delusional fools who are making up dreams and that things aren't connected. And Judah and Reuben start to argue that things are connected, that they're being punished. And they argue that correctly, because in the end of the story of Joseph, of course, he's betraying his brothers, and I mean, he sends them to jail and plays a trick on them. But anyway, so remember when Joseph was sold, he was sold for 20 pieces of silver. So Jesus was sold to the Jews for silver, and by Judas, and Joseph was sold to the Ishmaelites by Judah for 20 pieces of silver. Now, also notice that when we're talking about Pope Urban I, Pope Urban II, the people during the Crusades, what are we talking about here? We're talking about the guy ordered everybody to fight with each other with whatever they had. Sticks and stones, swords. He said, God wills it, go get them. This is your way to heaven. What happens? Let's see how much time I got left. All right, what happens? He says that, he basically makes the city, he sets the environment for people to die and for him to profit during the wars. Okay? And it's in his best interest. It's the same thing they do in an urban city. What is an urban city? The suburban is the guys who are related to Pope, the rich white guys, they live in the suburbs. The urban guys are the guys fighting with each other. Why the big cartels, the big companies, the big liquor store companies, Miller, Budweiser, they're making tons of money. They're telling the kids, hey, play football, go watch football, buy beer, we make money, go shoot each other, we make money, listen to gangster rap, play football, make us money, buy our beer, buy our clothes, buy our cars, buy our guns, and these guys are making a killing, literally. What do you think it means to make a killing? Now, let me wrap this up here. When I talk about remember when Joseph was made a chancellor, okay? And who was the daughter of the high priest of On? It was Asenath. So, what is the connection between the Illuminati, the cults of Egypt, Islam, Islamic thought, Abu Bakr, Fatima, and Joseph, and Ishmael, and what is going on today? Okay, remember, the Manasseh means forgetting hardship. So he got with the priestess's daughter of On, and got it on, and what ends up happening as a result is the marriage of the Jews, the secret societies, and the Muslims. Now pay attention, because at this point in the story, the Muslims are the good guys. At this point in the story, Ishmael has helped save Joseph's life without knowing what he's doing. Okay? Without knowing what he's doing. So, it's important to note that the mafia and the scum would say the whole Bible is about people making things up, colluding, doing things behind the scene, and getting their way while saying God is on our side the whole time. That's what the mafia would get out of it. And that is exactly what Levi and Simeon got out of it. But my ancestor Judah, he told them motherfuckers. He told them straight up, just like this. He said, you do not tease God. He said, you do not spill the blood of your brother. And I'm telling the same fucking Jews just that. I'm telling Levi and Simeon just that. And some of my brothers who became Toms, Gad and Naphtali, and I am telling Issachar and Zebulun and Dan just that. I'm telling them, you do not spill your brother's blood. You do not do it on Judah's watch, and you do not fuck with Chukwu, especially when it comes to history and thought. Thank you.